You recording?
Yep, it is now.
Live.
All right, so this is our final oral presentation of our PowerPoint.
Very well.
Okay. Good
So
stuff. It's been a good
we
semester.
did. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. So we did Habitat for Humanity. Just to recap, we all did time at the Restore
Did
in
time.
Urbandale.
Yep. Yeah, we were a little late in the game on getting it done, but we all did crunch time, and we all did it, and here we are. Made our timeline. Time to spare.
I just want to point out though that I was under the impression that we were gonna be building houses.
Yeah, I did too.
I was pretty excited to do that actually.
Yeah, either that or demoing the
Even better.
those buildings, those apartments right by the Mercy Hospital. But I think we were too late. I think that's what our problem was.
Yeah, it's too cold out or something. But
Yeah.
this ended up being all right. It just was not what I was expecting at all.
I kind of, yeah, agreed. I kind of thought we would have more. I mean, I feel like we were behind the scenes type stuff. We weren't really out on the front lines doing things. And
Being a servant leader.
Right.
exactly, yeah. I felt like we weren't really interacting with anybody.
Yeah, I just really did not like the I didn't like the he's the volunteer, make him do it because it's grunt work. I have no problem with grunt work, but I was working about 100 times harder than any paid employee, and I mean even the manager was like, he was saying how good we were doing, and we had to move all these slabs of freaking wood, and they were just making jokes and laughing and not actually working. That bothered me a lot.
Yeah, there was also I found that to be true for myself as well. Reprocessing paint cans,
Yeah,
four times as many as the paid
Yeah.
guy. But I mean, I don't know. I guess everybody has a different work ethic and reason
Right.
for
Yeah.
being there. But
yeah, a
I
lot
think
of
we all
them.
kind of remember that.
I'm sorry.
We're all on the same page with that. That we didn't quite do what we thought we were going to be doing, but I guess at the end of the day, we can just look at it as we were helping the company.
yeah, helping the mission.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the second slide you've got here, apart from our cover slide, you got the picture of the rug. One of our responsibilities was to help the customers that came into the store. This is the picture of one of the many area rug offerings at the Restore. We helped customers load things into their car and bring them up to the front to be purchased. I did a lot of carrying stuff out to cars for people. Did you guys do that too much?
Yeah, we did. Definitely, especially on Saturday. And I actually, frankly, didn't mind that. I liked that because I actually felt like I was helping people.
Yeah, you actually got to interact with them.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that one.
So, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Did you guys ever talk? Did anybody ask you something like, "Hey," like a customer, "Hey, where's this and that, or can you help me with this?" And you were like, "Yeah, I'm just a volunteer."
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
but they're pretty cool.
They would kind of look at you like, "What?
You're a volunteer? What?" Yeah, and then there's one lady who wanted to buy an arm rail for her house. They had these 24-foot arm rails, and she's like, "Man, I really like this one, but it's too long." And I was like, "Well, I could just cut it for you," not knowing that we're not able to do that.
Oh, really?
So I took it to the back and cut it anyways on the saw. So
Nice.
And then I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm cutting this in half. And he's like, "Well, normally we don't do that." I was like, "Okay." But she bought the whole thing, so
there's no direction.
Yeah, there was this very minimal direction, so you kind of had to be.
You were a servant leader, and you made a sale.
Yeah, and you had to be aggressive with your initiatives there.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It ended up working out, and she was really happy about it. So that's what it's about.
There you go.
But
yeah, Al was the manager. I didn't talk to him too much. What was the other guy's name? Kurt. Talked to
Kurt.
Kurt a lot.
Kurt was
Kurt's a
a
good
pretty
guy.
cool dude. Yeah,
I thought he was a
worked
good
hard.
guy. I thought he did better than Alan. He was appreciative, you know. I really like. He
Yeah.
made multiple attempts to be like, hey, you know, I really appreciate you guys helping and blah blah blah. So that was
Definitely. And Kurt was he's always getting on his guys for smoking and joking too much.
Yeah, which
So,
is good.
Yeah.
he was like the only actual manager.
He's like the one guy that stood out that wasn't like any of the other ones.
That's true.
All right. So
It's
our
almost
third
like he didn't
slide.
belong there.
Our third slide is unloading the trucks. One of our responsibilities was to help unload the various trucks that the Restore crew would bring. We also helped unload donations from folks. Here's one unloading of a truck full of donated goods from a hotel in Des Moines.
That's terrible grammar on it.
Ah,
But yeah, so that's like a picture that I took after we unloaded a truck that some hotel donated a bunch of furniture and stuff, which they don't normally take furniture, but I guess they figured it would sell quickly, so, and it did because it wasn't there like 2 days later.
nice.
I noticed a lot of times I'd put something on the shelf, and then the next day one of the guys would be throwing it in the dumpster.
Oh, that's true too. So that could have happened. I don't know.
Real quick, as I'm thinking about it, I think there was a part in the paper or in our PowerPoint presentation talking about, you know, if we had more time or suggestions that we would make for the company. One of the things that James and I were talking about is, you know, we saw him throwing all this crap away. And we talked to Kurt. We were like, hey, did you ever think about like having a free day once a week? Like instead of throwing it in the garbage, literally just slap a free sign on it in the store, you know,
That's a good idea.
advertise it, have people come by and, you know, then you're not filling up your garbage. People are getting free stuff. You're getting extra room on the floor. And he was like, well, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea. I actually talked to him about something similar. I said, you throwing all this crap away. Why do you guys take it all in? Like,
yeah.
And I guess he was
They
saying,
like, don't say no.
His guys were afraid of hurting people's feelings. I was like, I don't know that their feelings are going to get hurt. I mean, these people are trying to donate to, you know, help out or to make themselves feel good or get a tax return, whatever the reason. But if you tell them, hey, I just don't have room for this, it's not like a personal insult.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I would rather they say, hey, you know, we don't need this. We have too much of this, than just say, oh yeah, thanks, and then throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we aren't running the
All right.
show.
Moving on. Slide 4, destruction of donated goods. Destroying things in new and creative ways are hours of enjoyment for staff at the Restore. As a volunteer, we were tasked with setting up items for destruction and cleaning up the glass after they broke them. Some items would go straight from a person's vehicle after donation right to the dumpster. We just didn't have the space. Yeah, I did that a lot with like pictures. That polished
they need
brash.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They need a bigger warehouse, I think, because
Definitely.
a lot of stuff, you know, it would be nice stuff, and they would just simply have to throw it away because there's not enough room. And like the picture on the PowerPoint, which perfect photography. I don't know if you noticed, but that boulder or whatever, the brick they were throwing was going through that glass right then and there. I'm proud of myself.
Yes.
But there were some nice doors, like French doors and stuff, that they were destroying. But
I talked to Kurt about that, and he said that the Euclid store used to be like a lumberyard store. And so
really?
they actually had like a huge warehouse and like an outdoor storage area. So they had a ton more crap there, they said.
Nice.
So it would have been interesting to see the other store. But
yeah, we could always go back.
Yeah.
I've been there shopping before. I just can't remember how different it was, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well,
so do we agree we all did our equal share of destroying and disposing of?
Yep.
Too much product?
The next slide is a picture of the baler that I put up there. And I had never worked a baler before, and I can work pretty much any piece of equipment. I just didn't like that they're like, hey, go work the baler. And I'm like, well, I don't know how. And they're like, well, you'll figure it out. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, but it says danger all over it, and it says don't do it without training. But okay.
Yep.
I just felt like I was put in a couple dangerous situations where if I get hurt there, I'm not covered. I lose my career if my back goes out or I hurt my knee or something. So I just I didn't like that. And I know they sent me and Adam up on some scaffolding, and we had to carry up like all this wood and whatnot. We're like, well, can somebody else do this? Because if we get hurt, we lose our job, not our volunteer gig, you know? And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you'll be fine. Just go up there. We're like, all right, fine.
Yeah, some people wouldn't have dealt with that the same way we did, and I think it'd be in their best interest to change the way they do things
Yeah.
when it comes to that. Because we weren't so cool about it. We just were like, okay, whatever. You know, we could have been like, no, this is ridiculous, and I'm leaving. I'm not coming back. Blah blah blah. So it'd be a good idea on their part to change
Yeah.
the way they do with volunteers.
Yeah, you definitely have to, as a volunteer, have a positive attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, number 6, organizing the warehouse and keeping up with the many donations. The floor space is limited, which causes a huge backup of goods to the back portion or warehouse portion of the store. It is often difficult to move from point A to point B without significant planning and rearranging. Yeah, it was super crowded back there. They had way too much product.
Yeah. Yeah. And every night it would just reset to a nightmare, and they'd spend all day getting everything off the floor, and then you go home, come back the next day, and it's completely packed again.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess having too many donations isn't a bad thing, but I think some organization and procedure would be a good idea for them. I think it would help.
Yep.
Yeah. And then trying to drive a forklift in that mess.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it was a little tight quarters.
Yeah.
All right. Number 7. Time on the floor. We were able to spend time on the floor interacting with customers, exercising the servant leadership skills learned. However, it was while lifting over 1,000 pounds of concrete and bricks. It was decided the volunteers would do this since it was grunt work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we already kind of talked about that, but that did kind of bug me as well, you know, that we did more work than the actual employees that, you know, did it for a job.
And again, I don't want it to seem like I'm complaining. I made this slide as well. I don't want it to be like I'm complaining, but when you're saying, "Hey, you're the volunteer, you're gonna go do the crap work," it's like,
I don't need to be here.
Yeah.
But like, no,
I'm
like
not being paid.
I had the same experience. Like these two gentlemen were talking about like, well, I don't want to do that. Well, just have this guy do it. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
okay, bro, I'll help you with it.
Yeah, and then and then we were moving a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, do you guys know about like inertia? Because you guys are like stopping. You're impeding us from doing this by stopping every time. And they're just like, oh, what are you, some kind of smarty pants in school? Think you can tell us how to do our job? And I'm like, no, I'm trying to do this proficiently without a back injury. But okay.
Yeah. Coming from a fireman, you guys know everything about smart. Not hurting your back. But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating sometimes, but you just got to keep a positive attitude.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot else you can do.
Got to remind yourself what you're there for. Which is helping that company succeed.
Helping the mission.
Slide 8 is purchase of items. The restore doesn't only take donations, but makes purchases of new items such as stacks of tile. All tile needs to be wrapped with plastic and supplied by volunteers. We did a lot of that.
That job will never be complete.
No, the tile job is in a perpetual state of not being done.
No.
I worked on tiles for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did for 2 days, Adam and I.
What frustrated me is that it seems as though like they're often unwilling to hear, in my opinion, good ideas. Like they're wanting to unwrap all the tiles and rewrap them with plastic so that the customers could see what the tiles were. I was like, why don't you just take one tile out of the box, put it in front of the box so that they know what's inside the box, and that way when they go to buy it, they can just put that tile back in the box and it's already a nice self-contained
Yeah.
load in their car, and they just didn't want to do it that way. But
No.
The other thing we did is Kurt was like, throw anything that's this. I don't know. This might not be exactly what he said, but he said anything 3 or less, 3 boxes or less, throw it away. Anything like this, throw it away. So me and James did all that, and then Al came by and was like, "Oh, this is great stuff," and he started pulling it all out of the garbage. We were like, he's like, "No, this is nice. This is nice. We're gonna keep this. Wrap that back up." And we were like, "Okay."
yeah,
They need to get on the same page.
yep, I've noticed that too. I mean, sounds like we're just criticizing them, but
Yeah. Well, we're trying to help
friendly
them.
advice. Yeah. 'Cause, I mean,
Yep.
we've all had jobs where we have to make improvements or die, essentially.
Yeah. It's hard to go back to thinking about jobs like that. Yeah, because like at my job, it gets pounded. Well, you make a decision and it's wrong. You got to go tell that family why you just killed that guy. And so when I do stuff like that, it's hard for me to get out of that mode of you can make a mistake. You're just probably going to have to rewrap some tile.
Mm-hmm.
So,
The consequences aren't as heavy, and
yeah,
so there's not a lot of incentive to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
All right, last slide, gents.
Pictures of us wrapping tile, but you were too caught up in your leading servant leadership to take a selfie.
I know. It was ridiculous.
We saw you there, though. We can
Yeah.
vouch for you being there.
Kurt can vouch for it,
Oh, okay.
but I was there.
Yes, you were.
They had that nice kerosene heater that I was going to buy, but I
That
didn't.
I was going to buy?
That you were going to buy, and then I was going to buy it since you didn't buy it. But
I ended up buying a really nice one at Menards for 125,000 BTU.
nice.
For not bad. It was $100 versus that one at 20,000 BTU.
For 50, yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it, guys.
But
Anything else to add?
yeah, just in conclusion, I think hopefully the PowerPoint didn't seem super negative, but I think the staff really highly regarded all of us. And
They
thought we were
definitely-
hard workers, and we definitely got a lot of stuff done that wouldn't have gotten done as quickly
With us
or at
pulling.
all without us.
Definitely.
So I think we did end up helping the overall mission for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Definitely.
Well said.
All
I'm
right.
trying to pull up our deal here, our oral presentation sheet to make sure we've covered everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
Where we hang
I
out.
had it pulled up, and we pretty much did. We talked about a brief history of the community partner, and then what social issues the organization attempts to address, which is simple, affordable housing for everybody. The nature of our product and how it contributed. We talked about that. Synopsis of how it went. We talked about that, and possible directions for future work. So just like we were saying, with the free stuff that they have.
Yeah.
And then how we talked about how the managers can improve the way they deal with future volunteers.
Yeah.
Make that,
I'd be inclined to talk to Al and Be like, hey, I'd be interested to come back and volunteer, but you need to address these issues.
For sure.
And doing that would help them, because it'd make it more welcoming, for volunteers.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like for somebody who might be a little timid or less of a social butterfly, walking into that place as a volunteer would be pretty intimidating.
Yeah, they'd be drowning.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's a bunch of hardworking dudes, and they don't really talk to you. They just kind of expect you to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to
So
improvise.
you guys feel good with this?
Yeah.
So good.
All right, we'll stop it.